Hey guys, it's the wonderful Mr. Woods here, bringing you another League of Legends gameplay, this time featuring Aatrox in the top lane. Played this game a little while ago, after the preseason patch though. So the reason I picked Aatrox in the top lane is because I feel like he's a good matchup with Kha'Zix. And as you see, Kha'Zix tries to cheese me here, coming out of the bush, trying to kill me, but what he doesn't realize is he cannot fight me. He's in my creeps, he's not getting that isolation damage, and if you don't know, Kha'Zix does do more damage when you are isolated, so if you're not by your creeps, he's going to do crazy amounts of damage. But Aatrox does a lot of damage at level 1, and I did take my W, which does give you a healing proc every third strike, so that definitely helped me win that fight, and I ignited early, and I was able to take him down for the first blood, so great for me. So I'm just going to continue farming up and trying to push the lane out and possibly go back. I started with Cloth 5, mainly because I know Aatrox does do a lot of physical damage, and I wanted to be able to deal with that. Now, if you look at Kha'Zix's items, he started with boots. Now, boots are good for against some champions because it does give you the ability to dodge skill shots a little bit easier. And then I take a tower shot, but I don't care, because I can just heal it right back up. And here's the problem with what he's doing. He's trying to fight me, and he can't. He already gave me first blood. I already gained a level on him, and I probably would have been better served to just flash out of the axe initially or dodge it, but that worked out just fine. And here I'm doing something extremely greedy. Please don't ever do this. I'm walking back in. Even though Olaf was just here, and he could still be in the area, he probably is still in the area. I think it ends up being fine. It ends up, I end up getting all the CS pushing into his tower. It works out fine, but if he would have come, I would have been dead. So, don't do that. But, no, the thing that's a problem with him trying to fight me is that I'm already ahead. I'm ahead on levels, and you saw, all that CS was at his tower, so he literally missed out on all of that just to fight me and die. So it really wasn't worth it for him. So here I pick up a Vamp Scepter, pick up my boots, just so I can get on top of him a little bit easier, or get away from ganks, because I know that Olaf's probably going to be up top again sometime soon. I think I pick up another in the health pot or whatever, just for extra sustain. I just want to sustain in this lane. At least that's what I'm thinking at the beginning of the game. I just want to sustain and farm up and just be able to stay in lane a lot longer and not have to continue to go back to base. So that's why I buy that Vamp Scepter. It doesn't give me a lot of damage, but it gives me a lot of sustain. On top of my W, which I do max first this game. There are certain situations where you might want to max something different. You might want to max your E if you're against a ranged champion, because it does give you a ranged attack. It gives you a slow. And it's, you slow them down so you can get on top of them. Personally, I like maxing W. Because it does give me that healing proc every third strike, which is really good. And that's why lifesteal synergizes really well, and attack speed synergizes really well with Aatrox. So the first item we're going to be building towards is that Blade of the Ruined King. It has everything Aatrox needs. It has attack speed, it has lifesteal, it has attack damage, and it also has the active, which gives you that slow and the drain, which is great for Aatrox because sometimes he can get kited a little bit, so to be able to pop that Blade of the Ruined King active, they're pretty much not going to get away from it. And the problem is you have to just remember to use it, and I think I might use it once this game. Once or twice, maybe. So I know Olaf's probably going to be coming around again, so I pop down a ward, jump on top of Kha'Zix. Unfortunately, I do miss my E there. So I mean, if you miss that, I mean, you're probably not going to kill the person because you can just run away. That's really your only CC as Aatrox. I mean, you got the knockup, but I didn't hit either of those there. And here's Olaf again. So what I'm doing right now is great because I'm putting pressure on the lane, and Olaf is having to sit up here and basically waste his time, a ton of his time, where he could be either farming, helping other lanes, and whatnot. So my other lane, I'm taking all the pressure off my mid lane and my bot lane. And they're able to just do their own thing. And I think because of that, our jungler is able to do quite a nice job. He's already picked himself up 2 kills, so he's not having too much trouble. And now he's up here with me, but the problem with Aatrox is, and especially against the Kha'Zix, if I do anything, you know, if Nocturne comes in on him, he's just going to jump away. That was a huge mistake on his part. There's almost 99% of the time he's going to pay for that if the jungler's right there. You do not jump in to someone that you can't fight. And he still is spending a lot of time trying to fight me when I'm already ahead. And this is what you shouldn't do. And that's why Kha'Zix is I believe he's a very risky pick in the top lane. Because he's going to get slapped around by a lot of the bruisers in the top lane. If he's up against Darius or an Olaf. Someone who... And he flashes there, I guess, thinking that I'm going to go in on him. And yet he still sticks around. I'm not really sure why he did that. I just immediately jump in, ult, and kill him. Because I know I have my pool available, and Olaf can't fight me either. He's trying to fight me. That's fine. So, to talk about Aatrox's ult, it's great. It does magic damage. It empowers you. It gives you more range on your auto attacks. It's a good ultimate overall. I really enjoy using it, and it's on a fairly short cooldown. So I mean, anytime you are going for an all-in, or you just want to force your opponent out of lane, I don't see a reason not to use it. So I did not mention in my last video, and I will mention this one. There are several ways to go for runes and masteries on Aatrox. I prefer to go at 2190. Taking all the pertinent AD and attack speed in the offense tree, and then taking the it's up to personal preference for the defense tree. And here the 2 guys, and Olaf is still up here, and they still can't kill me. I don't remember. Yeah, they popped my passive, but that's the reason that passive is so OP. And you cannot tower dive Aatrox when his passive's up, because he's just sitting there tanking the tower, and now he's too low to do anything. And it's up to you what you want to take in the defense tree for those 9 points. And you can go 921, but Aatrox he just scales so well with offense, it's really sort of pointless to spend 21 points in the defense tree. And for my runes, I run... there's a couple choices you can take. Attack speed reds are really good. They do really synergize well with his W. So if that's the route that you want to take, that's great. I'll switch between those and just to taking attack damage reds. Then you're going to want to take 80. You can either take 80 or lifesteal Quints. Personally, I prefer 80 because I think he has enough lifesteal on his own, so he can sustain very well. But so that's giving you a couple different options. You can take either scaling MR or just flat MR. It really depends on the matchup. And after that, it's really up to you. Armor seals obviously are the most cost-effective seals that you can possibly get, so I would not recommend deviating from those. And you're going to need that armor for most matchups on the top of it. So, I mean, even though you may be against a magic damage champion, odds are with auto attacks and everything else, they are still going to be doing physical damage to you, so those are not wasted. And obviously, later in the game, they'll do as well. And even if you're up against an AP top laner, and here, again, he tries to fight me, didn't work out so well last time, didn't work out too well this time. Even if you're against a AP top lane, a lot of times their jungler will be able. So that armor is not going to go to waste. So I highly recommend you always run armor seals on Aatrox. So let's see, what did we pick up at this point in the game? We're still sitting on that Vamp Scepter. I've been sitting, and as you can see, that sustain is working out very well for me because I'm just able to sit in lane. I'm able to every time I get in a little scrap with Kha'Zix, I'm able to sustain myself back up, just stay in lane, keep farming. I mean, right now, I'm at 70 CS. He is at 18. So I'm, and this is the funny part. A lot of people want or get the idea that you want to deny your lane opponent, and that is smart up to a certain point. You want to deny them CS, keep them, you know, if you have a lead, you got to keep them behind. And here they go in on me. I do not have my passive up. I flash, but I killing me, or maybe not. Let's see. No, he tries to dive, and right there, I don't know that dive. He does end up getting the shutdown gold on me, but he also resets his gold, so I ended up getting a nice full 300 gold for that kill. So it worked out okay. It worked out, you know, better than it could have if I was the only one who died. So I go back, I pick up my Blade of the Rune King and Ninja Tabby just to deal with Kha'Zix's damage. At this point, he's not doing that much, but, you know, he did just pick up that shutdown gold, so he's going to be able to buy a couple of items. He gets a Brutalizer and a Tear. Now, here's another thing that he did wrong. When you're behind, you don't want to buy an item like a Tear, because a Tear does not give you any combat stats, especially as Kha'Zix. It does give you combat stats as maybe like a Rise that scales off of mana, but it does not give you any combat stats as Kha'Zix. The only thing it gives you is a mana pool, so you can spam your skills a little bit more in lane and not have to worry about going on. And that's not what you want as Kha'Zix, especially when you're behind. You either want to get more damage so you can out damage your opponent, or you want to get buy some defense. But the problem is Kha'Zix is a burst champion. He needs that damage to be able to get the resets and jump in and out of fights. So if he gets behind and he can't buy that damage, then he's going to be completely ineffective, which is, like I said, that's why he's such a risky pick in the top lane. Because if he falls behind, he's going to be worthless. And it's harder for him to roam, being in the top lane. He really has one option to roam to, which is the middle lane. I mean, he could roam bottom, but it's going to cost him a lot of time, and probably a lot of CS as well. Not that he's getting much of that in this game. But either way. At this point in the game, I have a nice big lead. I'm 7-1. So this is the point when you want to start roaming and trying to spread the wealth around and help your teammates out, help them get kills. Because if 90% of the kills are on you, that's no guarantee that you're going to win the game. Because the enemy team might just decide, okay, we got one guy 10-1 on their team, and we got the rest of the team is, you know, garbage. So let's just kill that guy, and then we can win the fight. And as Aatrox, you are sort of squishy. So, I mean, even though I'm a higher level than everyone else, and I am, you know, less squishy, I'm still somewhat squishy. So if their entire team focuses me, I'm going to die. There's nothing I can do about it if I don't have my passive up. And even if I do have my passive up, you know, chances are I still will probably die. His passive is more of a laning passive, I think, than it does. I mean, it does help you during the rest of the game. But if you're in the middle of a team fight and you get bursted down, and then you come back 3 seconds later, chances are they're still going to be standing there, and they're just going to kill you again. It's not going to give you half a health bar, 3/4 of the health bar back. So I think at that point it becomes a little bit less useful. So here I'm heading into the bot lane. As you can see, I picked up a pickaxe and a longsword, and that is going to be built towards the Tiamat. Now, the reason I like Tiamat, it gives you lifesteal, obviously. Again, synergizes well with Aatrox's W. Lifesteal is just great on Aatrox. And so here we go. Run into the bot lane. Kill his Jinx, probably. No, not kill his. I kill Olaf. So, like I said, when you're this far ahead, you want to go to other lanes and help your teammates get kills, because you want them to be able to carry you as well. Even if for some reason you can't carry it, if you're getting killed bursted down every fight and focus, you want them to be able to do enough damage to clean the fight up. So here they're thinking about basing, but I tell them, like, come on, let's just push these towers. It's in this game, let's get it over with. And the reason I go Tiamat into Hydra is because Aatrox is decent. He's pretty good at pushing, but with that item, it's very efficient on him for pushing. So I definitely recommend that you pick that up if you are sort of the split pusher on your team per se, or you feel like you can push and get towers very quickly. That's a good item to pick up. Here you see Kha'Zix coming on the side off that ward, and he doesn't stand a chance. And at this point, he has picked up a couple kills, but he's still, for the most part, ineffective.
Purple team double kill.
So this game, I mean, obviously from the very get-go, it was pretty much over. I mean, our other lanes weren't doing amazing, and I flashed to get the kill, and Jinx decides she wants it, so that's fine. At this point in the game, it's not that big a deal for me to waste my flash. I mean, obviously I'd like to have it, and you don't ever want to waste your flash if you don't need to. Obviously, there's moments in solo queue where you're going to misunderstand, or, well, not necessarily misunderstand, but miscommunicate with your teammates. You're not going to know exactly what they're going to do second by second, so if they're going to flash, you have to really know forewarning of that. And again, Kha'Zix, he had a narrow vision, wanted to get that one guy, and he allowed me to just smack him around. So. And there I see 4 people, and even though I'm, what am I, 11-1 at this point, I'm not that broken. So I decided to just take off. My team gets the dragon. It's great getting objectives. And for those of you that have probably noticed this by now and are probably really irritated by it, for some reason LoL replay is not showing the minimap right now, so I don't know exactly what type of bug that is, but I'll have to figure it out at some point. I just wanted to get another video out, so hopefully that'll be fixed shortly, or it will be fixed for the newer games. So we pick up our full Hydra, and this is where I start to pick up a little bit more defense. I know that Jinx obviously is an auto attacker. I know Olaf is an auto attacker, even though he does have his abilities that do, a large amount of damage, but he does physical damage. And Ahri's only 1-1, so I don't am too worried about her. So I know they have a lot of physical damage on their team. Even if they're not fed, they're still gonna, and for some reason their Nocturne goes in on all 4 of them with nobody in position to follow up. I try to go in to help him, but there wasn't really much I could do. He just got blown up. So I want to start building some defenses. So a good item on Aatrox is Randuin's. I think it's a great item. Gives him health. Gives him that nice little slow. When he runs into their team, you can just activate that and get a nice slow off. If they have more than one champion that relies on auto attacks, I think it's a good purchase. And if they have at least 3 champions that are AD, that do AD damage, I think it's a great deal. I mean, even if they have 2, it's still probably a solid pickup, depending on what their team comp is. But, I mean, looking at their team comp, Olaf, Jinx, Kha'Zix, they all do a lot of physical damage. Sona, I mean, she does a little bit of magic damage. She's not going to be doing that much at this point in the game. She does have a Lich Bane for some reason. I don't know what that's about. But and then Ahri, she's 2-1, 93 CS, so she's not going to be doing that much. But my primary target is usually going to be Jinx. That's who I'm concerned with at this point. She is 5-7. Her CS is totally awful, but I mean, she's still doing something in the game, so she's going to be the one I'm focusing on. So, I mean, this Kha'Zix is never going to be able to come back. If you look, he's 2-10 at this point with 32 CS. I mean, he got absolutely dumpstered. So, this is what you have to do once you gain an advantage, like I've talked about in previous videos. Once you gain that advantage, I had a couple kills on him at the beginning. I just pushing and pushing and pushing, killing him more and more and more. And you might feel like a jerk doing that. You might feel like, man, I just killed this guy 3-4 times. I should just leave him alone. But you can't. I mean, you really, if you want to win, you take him out of the game, period. You make sure he cannot do anything. And, he got 2 kills, but I'm sure there were just cheese kills. He jumped in at the last second when the person was almost dead. Picked him off. There's nothing I could do about that. I got hit by an Ahri charm here. I normally in a game where I'm against an Ahri, if I'm getting focused by her, I might normally pick up Merc Treads, but I didn't see her as being a huge problem this game. She hasn't really done anything. She didn't really roam. She pretty much just sat in mid lane. I think she killed Katarina one time. She didn't look like much of an issue. I mean, normally an Ahri would, you know, maybe pick up a DFG and then go, you know, top lane or go bottom and try to pick up some kills, but she really hadn't done that, so I wasn't extremely worried about it. And I think the game is about to end right now. So if you take away anything from this game, take away the fact that, you know, Aatrox, great, solid top laner. If you don't own him, I would highly recommend trying him or picking him up. He's a very sustained champion. He's a good duelist, and he can do a lot of damage both the right way. So I didn't finish this build, but I will leave the full build in the description, what I would have gone for, and other viable items. I'm gonna start doing that on every video. If you did like this video, please leave a like and please subscribe if you would like to see more. I will also link my Twitter in the description. If you follow me there, I'll be letting you know when new videos come out. So, I get shut down here, unfortunately. Fail my flash, try to Q away, but Sona gets that last little auto attack and takes me out, unfortunately. But my team cleans it up pretty well. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. I trusted my team, I got them some kills, and now they're fed. And, you know, as soon as I go down, they come in, back me up, and clean it up. And I'm perfectly fine with that. The win is the win. Doesn't matter if I was the first one to die. Like you just gotta have a team-oriented mentality of as long as it gets done and as long as you win the game, that's all that matters. Okay, well, that is the end of this gameplay. I think a surrender vote comes out right now. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Thanks, and have a great day.